Buhari condemns armed attacks in Ebonyi. Anambra commiserate with Odumakin family. Federal government reforms commitment to ensuring sanity on highways. Speaker, House of Representatives seeks improved parliamentary relations with Ghana. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on Nta Abeokuta Channel 12 News. My name is Anila Balogo. Now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari strongly condemns the dastardly attack on Monday night in 3 communities in Ishelu local government area of Ebonyi State. The affected communities are Egedebe, Obegu, and Amuzu communities. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garbo Shehu, the President has directed law enforcement agencies to fish out the attackers and make them face justice, stressing that the perpetrators of the heinous attack should not be spared. The President extends its deepest sympathies to families and friends who have loved loved ones and to every member of the communities in Ebonyi State traumatized by these despicable acts of wickedness. The President has also sent a message of sympathy to the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and a member of the Presidential Economic Advisory Council, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, who survived an attack by gunmen in Aguata, local government area of Anambra State, as he consulted with people on his political aspiration. Expressing concern at the influx of illegal weapons, President Buhari reassures Nigerians that ongoing efforts, which had led to the record recovery of illegal weapons and arrest of a large number of armed suppliers, will be intensified. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, says its commitment to ensuring sanity on nation's highways is irrevocable for free flow of traffic to reduce road crashes occasioned by indiscriminate parking of trailers and other articulated vehicles on the highways. FRSC Corps Marshal Boboy Oyeyemi stated this while monitoring level of compliance with federal government's campaign on safer highways at the Ogere section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Mohammed Adibowale reports.
Worried by cases of road crashes on nation's highways, the federal government ordered the Federal Road Safety Corps to clear the highway of indiscriminate parking of trailers and other articulated vehicles to reduce gridlock and accidents on the road. FRSC Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi, while monitoring execution of the order at Ogere section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, says the order remains effective and any errant driver of articulated vehicle caught for disobeying the order will not be spared for sanctions.
Ogere is associated with gridlock. It's one lane that will be struggling and you spend almost 30-40 minutes before you can get out. But now we have complied with the presidential directive. The road is free now. And we're going to sustain this. We achieve this because of the cooperation, education, enlightenment, and advocacy, and without any form of serious enforcement.
Other stakeholders say the directives will go a long way in maintaining sanity on the highways.
Everybody has been sensitized. Even the drivers, they talk to themselves. No vehicle is allowed to park on the road.
Men of the FRSC Corps Ogun State Command later told some articulated vehicles caught for disobeying the order to their Ogere office, while drivers of the vehicles escaped arrest. From Ogere, Ogun State, Mohammed Adebowale, NT News.
The Speaker, House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, and the new Speaker of the Ghanaian Parliament, Mr. Albert Bagin, have agreed to strengthen parliamentary relations in a bid to find lasting solutions to challenges such as the trade dispute involving the Nigerian traders in Ghana. The two speakers reached out to each other during a Zoom meeting they held at the weekend. But Gbajabiamila told his counterpart that the two countries were like siblings and should continue to explore the avenue of parliamentary diplomacy in addressing shared challenges, adding that there were much both could learn from each other. The Nigerian speaker also explained a project he initiated with 5 other African speakers, including the Conference of Speakers of African Parliaments, COSPA, which advocated for debt relief, and that this year, African speakers and heads of parliaments were expected to gather in Abuja to explore how they could work together better to tackle collective challenges. While congratulating the Ghanaian speaker for his success at the recently contested polls, Nta Abeokuta said he looked forward to working closely with him. Youth reorientation at all levels has been identified as crucial in securing the future of the country and fighting the menace of misconduct in tertiary institutions. This came to fore during a nationwide youth sensitization program tagged Change Begins With Me, organized by the National Orientation Agency in Bauchi. Muazu Hassan reports.
The program is aimed at addressing challenges of misconduct in tertiary institutions such as drugs abuse, sexual and gender-based violence, political thuggery, among others. These vices have far-reaching consequences on youth who are the future leaders. The Director General of the National Orientation Agency, represented by Bauchi State Director of the agency, Nuru Yusuf Kobi, called for support from the tertiary institutions based on the fact that youth constitute over 60% of the labor force in the country.
It is in view of the foregoing that the National Orientation Agency, as a social engineering institution, in the discharge of its mandate, is continuing this nationwide attitudinal orientation program for students in tertiary institutions across the federation in order to reorient and educate students on the ills and dangers of these social vices and provide a platform to continue engagement with different stakeholders on how to help this demand.
Other speakers at the sensitization workshop commended the National Orientation Agency for the nationwide attitudinal reorientation program for students of tertiary institutions aimed at addressing menace of misconduct among students of tertiary institutions. In Bauchi, Muaz Hassan, NTA News.
This is the news at 7 on Nta Abeokuta Channel 12. More news after the break. Stay with us.
Under the leadership of Prince Nta Abeokuta MFR, in its efforts to plan for housing and infrastructure requirements, road, urban and rural renewal projects, water, rural electrification, and many more, is embarking on a property enumeration drive across the state. The project will assist the government in ascertaining the key areas to be fixed in ensuring an equitable distribution of all projects and infrastructure. This is to implore all residents and business owners to cooperate with the enumerators as they visit all houses, business buildings to capture data. Kindly provide all necessary information to our enumerators who will be having on them verifiable means of identification. Ogun State, building our future together. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn, àjọṣe gbogbo wa ni. Announcer, Ministry of Finance.
Ó dẹ̀ rọrùn fún mi láti máa ṣorin fún yín. Ṣé mọ̀ kó tó wá rọrùn fún mi jù láti ṣe àsopọ̀ NIN mi àti ẹ̀ka ìpè Glo mi. Mo lè mú ẹ̀rọ ìpè mi kí n dẹ̀ tẹ *109*NIN# tàbí kí n pe 109 kí n dẹ̀ tẹ̀lé àwọn ìfilọ́lẹ̀ rẹ̀. Tí kò bá wù mí láti pè, mo lè tẹ àtẹ̀ránṣẹ́ NIN mi sí 109. Mo lè kàn sórí glowworld.com/NIN. Tó bá dẹ̀ gbàgbé NIN rẹ̀, tẹ *346# láti rí gbà padà. Ẹlòmíì dẹ̀ tún lè béèrè tí bá ní NIN kọ́ tó lè yan fanda wọ èyíkéyìí Glo World tó súnmọ́ ẹ jù. Má jẹ́ kán já ẹ̀ka ìpè Glo rẹ o, nítorí àwọn àǹfààní tó pọ̀ tí ìpè àti data látọwọ́ Glo àti so NIN rẹ pọ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ka Glo rẹ ó rọrùn gidi, kò léwu, ọ̀fẹ́ ni, kò sì ní wàhálà rárá.
Welcome back. Goods worth millions of naira were early hours today consumed by fire at the Tar section of the Agodi market in Ibadan. Shala Wahid has the details.
The fire incident, which destroyed over 300 shops, started at about 11 p.m. last night and was still ravaging till early morning when NTA crew was at the scene. Shop owners and sympathizers were seen salvaging goods and property at the scene, while firefighters were equally around trying to put out the fire. Some shop owners and people that lost property to the fire incident responded.
The fire started at about 10:30 and 11 p.m. yesterday. We called the firefighters, but because of the road accessibility, the fire escalated further. Almost all the shops were destroyed.
If I reduce the money, is about 10 million to 6 million. They are of the view that had the road to the spare part market was measurable, fire trucks would have been able to put the fire off on time. They also called on state and federal governments for assistance. In Ibadan, Lawahid, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has refuted claims about what it calls a propaganda video of Boko Haram claiming to have shot down the now confirmed crashed Nta 475 Alpha jet. In a press statement by NAF Directorate of Public Relations and Information, one of such videos allegedly released by the sect began with sporadic shooting by several terrorists and later skipped abruptly to a scene depicting an aircraft exploding mid-air, supposedly as a result of enemy action. It is almost impossible for an aircraft to have exploded mid-air in the manner depicted in the video and still have a good part of its fuselage, including its tail, intact. Indeed, an explosive impact of that nature would have scattered the debris of the aircraft across several miles. Consequently, Nigerians are advised to ignore the contents of the videos, making the rounds on social media until all investigations as to how the aircraft crashed are completed. The NAF, on its part, remains resolute and will continue to work in synergy with sister services and other security agencies to rid the northeast of all terrorist elements. President Muhammadu Buhari condoles with the family, friends, and acquaintances of Nta Abeokuta, spokesman for Yoruba socio-political group Afenifere. The late Abeokuta was also spokesman for the then General Buhari as presidential candidate of the defunct Congress for Progressive Change (CPC) in 2011. The president recalls Abeokuta as a dutiful person of conviction, expressing sorrow at his demise when he had a lot more to contribute to society and the nation at large. President Buhari prays God to grant repose to the soul of the departed activist and comfort of those left to mourn him. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is shocked at the sad news of the death of Nta Abeokuta, the spokesperson of the Pan-Yoruba group Afenifere. The Vice President commiserates with the wife, family, and associates of the deceased who passed on the Saturday morning after a battle with complications from COVID-19. A statement from the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity in the Office of the Vice President indicates that Vice President Yemi Osinbajo prays that the Lord will comfort the family and bless his memory always. Deputy House of Representatives Ahmed Idris Wase has expressed over the death of Representative Haruna Maitala. Maitala died in a motor accident on his way to Jos from Abuja, bringing to 3 the number of House members who died within a period of 3 months. His death, Maitala represents Jos North, Bassa Federal Constituency of Plateau State in the House of Representatives. In a condolence message signed by his chief press secretary, Umar Muhammad Puma, said late Maitala was a hard-working, dedicated, and honest politician who died when his services were needed the most. In the arena, let's join Olumide Eguntala on Sports Update.
Athletes, officials, and administrators across various sports federations have received the COVID-19 vaccine ahead of the National Sports Festival in Edo State and other international events. This is part of the pre-tournament requirements as stipulated by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19.
Show everyone, especially within our sports industry, that is safe.
Please go to the areas and the centers, approved centers around you, get vaccinated, and let's help make Nigerian sports again a reality.
And in Lagos, The state team has been motivated by the government to excel at the games. The Lagos State Sports Commission charged the team when it hosted athletes at the Teslim Balogun Stadium to redeem monetary pledges it made to athletes who won medals at the 2018 National Sports Festival in Abuja.
Lagos State government is a continuum. We will fulfill it, and that is what we're doing today.
Lagos State athletes, go and do your best, bring back gold.
And from Ebonyi, athletes and officials of the state contingent have promised to come out tops at the 20th National Sports Festival, scheduled to commence on the 4th of April in Edo State, despite challenges confronting the team.
There is no encouragement.
The way we are complaining is the way other states are also complaining. So when we get there, they will not face each other.
In another news, preparations are in top gear for Nigeria to host the African Military Games for the first time come October 2021 in Abuja. The planning committee led by Commodore Mohammed Wabi were in Lagos to seek more support for the games, which will feature 16 African countries in golf, football, and marathon.
Most of our young soldiers can be able to run. They can show their physique. They can show their stamina.
And from the continental scene, two-time African champions Enyimba of Aba will on Sunday attempt to go top of Group A of the CAF Confederations Cup when the team takes on ESAT of Algeria in match day 3 of the tournament. With sports update, Olumide Guntola, MT News.
Now we look at the weather forecast for tomorrow.
Observe improved visibility across the country as the dust episode is fading away. For Sunday, visibility should be okay for most parts of the north and the central region. But for people living over Kano, should still expect some poor level of visibility due to dust that was raised and its trajectory points towards Kano axis. The southern half of the country should be mostly cloudy for the morning period. Later in the afternoon, we expect areas around Lagos, Owerri, Warri, Yenogwa, Port Harcourt, and Uyo to be busy with some rainfall activities. I am Akami Samarda. I leave you with the temperature forecast.
That's it on the news tonight. I'm Ayula Baluku. Thanks for being there.